Okay, today we're diving into a story that is just wild. It's about massive wealth, a global community, and a financial revolution that promised to change the lives of millions. It was called OneCoin, and at its peak, it was a true phenomenon.
And right at the center of it all was its founder, the incredibly charismatic Dr. Ruja Ignatova. I mean, look at this. She's commanding a stage in front of thousands of her followers, people who absolutely adored her. They hailed her as a visionary, the creator of the next great cryptocurrency.
Because this celebrated tech messiah just disappeared in 2017. And today, she's right up there with cartel leaders and murderers as one of the FBI's top 10 most wanted fugitives. So how did it all go so spectacularly wrong? Let's get into it.
So, Dr. Ruja Ignatova. She was a German businesswoman with a PhD from Oxford, no less. She launched OneCoin back in 2014, and she wasn't just selling a cryptocurrency. She was selling a dream of financial freedom. And it became this massive movement that just swept across the globe.
And people really bought into that dream. We're talking to the tune of an estimated 4 billion euros. And this wasn't just a few wealthy investors. This was millions of ordinary people, from Europe to Africa to Asia, literally pouring their life savings into what they believed was going to be the next Bitcoin. So here's the crucial point. The entire promise of OneCoin, the whole thing, rested on its technology. But as investigators and a few brave whistleblowers started to look a little closer, the foundation of this multi-billion euro empire started to show some massive cracks. You see, for any cryptocurrency to be real, to have any actual value, it needs a blockchain. Just think of it like a shared, unchangeable digital receipt book that everyone can see and verify. It's what makes the whole system secure and trustworthy. And OneCoin, they claim to have a blockchain that was even better, even more powerful than Bitcoin's. Now, the man who blew this lie wide open was a blockchain expert named Bjorn Bjerke. In 2016, OneCoin offered him this really lucrative job as their chief technology officer. But here's the catch. They didn't want him to manage their blockchain. They wanted him to secretly build one from scratch, the very same technology they had already been telling millions of investors they'd had for years. And this right here was the fundamental difference. A real cryptocurrency like Bitcoin runs on a decentralized blockchain that nobody controls. OneCoin, on the other hand, well, it was running on a simple SQL server, just a private, centralized database. And what that meant was that Dr. Ruja had total control. She could invent coins out of thin air. She could manipulate their value whenever she wanted. It wasn't a real currency. It was just numbers on her screen.
Bjerke didn't just stop there, though. He got his hands on several OneCoin accounts and started making transfers between them, all while recording his screen. Then, he went and scoured their supposed blockchain, looking for any record of these transactions. And what did he find? Nothing. Not a single one. It was the smoking gun. Conclusive proof that the entire system was just a simulation.
So if the technology was a complete fraud, how in the world did OneCoin manage to pull in 1.5 million people and billions of euros? Well, the answer isn't in technology. It's in psychology and a sales model that's been around for a very long time. In a leaked email to her co-founder, Dr. Ruja actually revealed the real strategy in her own shocking words. This was never about a financial revolution. It was a cynical plan to combine the aggressive recruitment tactics of multi-level marketing, or MLM, with the high-stakes, ruthless feel of Wall Street.
So here's how the trap was set. You see, you weren't technically buying coins. That might attract unwanted attention from regulators. No, instead you bought these so-called educational packages. But the real core of the system was recruitment. The fastest way to make actual money wasn't from your coins going up in value. It was from earning huge cash commissions for every single new person you signed up. The whole focus was always on selling the dream to someone else.
And this was the public message they used to sell it. While behind the scenes, they were talking about being the bitch of Wall Street, publicly at these huge rallies and events, they preached a message of community, of trust, of family.
It created this powerful us versus them mentality, where anyone who criticized them was just a hater trying to bring the family down.
But a lie that big, it can't be contained forever. As whistleblowers like Bjorn Bjorka got louder and law enforcement agencies all over the world started closing in, the whole meticulously crafted world of OneCoin just started to crumble. And the collapse happened fast. It really started in 2016 with those blockchain revelations. Then, in October 2017, right before a huge event, Dr. Ruja boarded a flight to Athens and vanished. Just gone. Her co-founder, Sebastian Greenwood, was arrested about a year later and eventually pled guilty to fraud. But Dr. Ruja herself, she's still a ghost.
Now, here is maybe the most unbelievable part of this entire story. Despite the founder being a top FBI fugitive, the co-founder pleading guilty to fraud, and basically a global consensus that it's a scam, it's still going.
The organization just rebranded itself as One Ecosystem. New leaders stepped up, and they're still holding events, telling the believers who are left that nothing is lost. They claim the business is perfectly legal and that pretty soon everyone will be very thankful.
To really understand the devastating human cost of this, you have to hear about people like Jonathan Vigaruk. He invested thousands, and for years, his OneCoin dashboard told him that his holdings were worth 8,245,000 euros. A life-changing fortune, right? A world of freedom. And it was all just numbers on a screen. But after years of broken promises and all the evidence piling up, Jonathan had to face a crushing truth. The 8 million euros, it wasn't real. It was never real. And he decided he just couldn't live inside that lie anymore. So when the new One Ecosystem demanded a fee to migrate his old coins to their new, equally fake platform, he refused. And instead, in this really powerful act of self-liberation, he chose to symbolically burn his worthless coins. It was his way of finally breaking free from the psychological grip of the scam and moving on with his life.
The OneCoin story is an absolute tragedy, but it holds a critical lesson for all of us. You see, the next big scam probably won't be called OneCoin, but it will use the exact same playbook. A charismatic leader, the promise of a revolution, and a passionate community that calls all critics haters. It's going to prey on our deepest hopes for a better life. So the only question is, when it comes for you, will you be able to spot the lie?